flower grows. I believe that somewhere in the darkest night a candle glows. I believe for everyone who goes astray, someone will come to show the way. I believe above the storm, the smallest prayer will still be heard. I believe that someone in the great somewhere hears every word. Every time I hear a newborn baby cry, or touch a leaf, or see the sky, then I know why I believe. Every time I hear a newborn baby cry, or touch a leaf, or see the sky, then I know why I believe.
Hello and welcome to our short time of reflection for this week. I think following on from the gospel story on Sunday about Thomas, I was talking with a couple of friends about how it was that we had each come to believe. And along the way we were talking about faith and belief, whether they were the same or different, and thinking way back to our own early experiences. For myself, I can remember being taken as a relatively small child along to evensong in our parish church, and that was probably my first memory of liturgy and that wonderful poetry, the words of the Magnificat, hearing about this God that was going to fill the hungry with good things, and the confession prayer where we spoke of being like lost sheep and he was going to come and look for us. And of course, the first creed that I would have been familiar with would have been the Apostles' Creed as part of that service. And it's such a vivid memory going, I know, way back now to a time when ladies wore hats and gloves to go to church, and men mostly wore hats but took them off to go into church, and that puzzled me as a child. There were lots of other things that puzzled me too, of course. And eventually I came to a point where I was ready to make my own profession of faith, preparing for confirmation. And I want to share with you a little book that I still have. I notice that it's covered in what looks like wallpaper, which was the thing we did back then. All of our school books had to be covered and taken care of. And this little book was a catechism of Christian faith and practice, and it's dated, I see, 1964, which is the same year as that bachelor's song, I Believe. And in amongst it, we've got no less than 308 questions and answers for young people as to everything we could possibly need to know. When we should take communion and when we shouldn't. Keeping the commandments. Does God answer our petitions? I could go on. That was the kind of thing that in those days was given to young people in preparation for confirmation. And I have another one that goes back even further. This little book called The Pilgrim Path is precious to me. It was given to my mother when she was confirmed in 1931. And rather than questions and answers, it just tells us all sorts of information. And it has useful things in it, like what you call all the different vessels and pieces of cloth that are on the altar at communion, when you should bend the knee. And it says here that this little booklet is adapted for the young and unlettered, with a tone of deep reverence and devotion. I think perhaps we've moved, hopefully over the generations, from telling to asking questions and giving the answers, to now encouraging us all to think, reflect, learn and grow. And that brings me to that difference between belief and faith. Because belief, I think, conveys the sense that it's all in our heads. It's what we can understand and know. And of course, we cannot ever fully know God with our limited human brains and imagination. We're in the presence of a mystery that is truly wonderful. But we are invited to a journey of faith. We might speak of a friend who is faithful. We may say that we have faith in something or somebody. It's about trust. It's about a relationship. And the details of when we might bow the knee or exactly what words of doctrine we might believe perhaps matter less than having a real and living relationship with the God who loves us and who, in Jesus, showed us what a God-filled life looks like. And Jesus simply said, "Follow me." Not, "This is what you must believe," but "Follow me," in trust. And so perhaps this week I'm reflecting on that and on Thomas, who simply said, "My Lord and my God." I hope that that level of trust, faith, belief might be mine and yours too in these days to come. Go well this week. God bless.
Dum dum da dum 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 da dum 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 da dum 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 dum. When we walk with the Lord in the light of His word, what a glory He sheds on our way. Da dum 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 dum. While we do His good will, He abides with us still, and with all who will trust and obey. Trust and obey, for there's no other way to be happy in Jesus but to trust and obey. But we never can prove the delights of His love until all on the altar we lay. For the favor He shows, for the joy He bestows, are for those who will trust and obey. for there's no other way to be happy in Jesus but to trust and obey. Lord, I love you. Please help me to trust and obey. Lord, I love you. Please help me to trust and obey. And in fellowship sweet, we will sit at his feet, or we'll walk by his side in the way. What he says we will do, where he sends we will go. Never fear, only trust and obey. Trust and obey, for there's no other way to be happy in Jesus but to trust and obey. Trust and obey, for there's no other way to be happy in Jesus but to trust and obey. Lord, I love you. Please help me to trust and obey. Lord, I love you. Please help me to trust and obey. Lord, I love you. Please help me to trust and obey.